I am doing this broadcast for December because silence is complicit. Karine Jean-Pierre said silence is complicit. She's the 35th White House press secretary. She was ousted from her government job just like I was ousted from the city of Delray Beach. Although that was my fourth government job, I did not include a federal job, which I had, but my husband and I decided to take care of our babies in West Boynton Beach instead of me working the federal. Okay, so they couldn't do my job because I was trained by two attorneys, and they did not know I started government when I was 17 in the summer and 18 in the summer, Government of Jamaica, both summers. Then when I worked for the European Union, thank Jehovah God, thank Jesus our King, I saw what real public service is. I did the minutes of meeting and they were moving tranches of money for small business. Now the European Union became a union and was helping small businesses. And they did not act like they owned the money, but the food stamp people, the Social Security people, the USAID people, and the other people who took my municipal job are acting like they own the municipal funds, the food stamp money, USAID funds, etc. And I was living public service since I was 17, but I studied business at Florida Atlantic University. So I visit the city of Delray Beach from time to time, but my content is becoming more important because it's alarming to me. Real life is stranger than fiction. You know, in Jamaica, we say they'll rough you up. You can spell it RUFF or ROUGH, just like English. That's what we say in Jamaica, they rough you up. We don't say they bully you. So the Americans been roughing me up since 1967 in my parents' home. But I'm grateful that they told me not to take drugs, not to become an alcoholic like my father, not to get AIDS by moral sex, and they taught me discipline. The only thing I have endured is the cross like Jesus did. Now, the DeepSeek AI defines roughing up. It implies aggression, violence, or a warning of physical harm. So also the DeepSeek AI also says it's physically intimidate, threaten, or beat someone up. That's what roughing up is. So I think the United States will win in any war now because of this transformer huge robot. Can you see the guy's head inside of it? The guy's head is inside here. And this huge thing is gonna fight for you. So when they shoot back at you, they'll be shooting at that armored vehicle, which is like a robot. That will rough up 195 countries. All the countries he put tariffs on, all the countries he deported, all the countries he has military presence will be roughed up by that huge robot. So that's a second win and more irreparable than World War I and World War II. The IMF did interest rate exploitation. They do not like those countries. They did not like Africa. Africa used to pay 9% interest, and they were always paying back interest instead of feeding the children. And the Caribbean, significantly Jamaica, the Jamaican dollar was higher than the US dollar when I was a teenager because I used to come shopping. One Jamaican dollar gave me two US. So they had to do the financial manipulation, and now Jamaican dollar is 155 Jamaican dollar equal one US. But I saw three videos on YouTube which really analyze the situation for the Caribbean. It's the value of the currency, the value of the development in the Caribbean, and currency and debt. Yes, I have all those videos saved, and I hope all of it is true. Sometimes there's exaggeration, but I detect some of it because of working for the government of Jamaica in the summer of 17 and 18, and also working for the European Union, who tried to help Jamaica. So we have to try to stay sane with these realities. So I went to go to the city of Delray Beach and print these. I hand these out because I want people to respond to my broadcast. Well, one dude watched two of my videos and responded very negatively. Well, I was pushed out of government and I was abused by African American state trooper off the computer and an African American sheriff off the computer. So this is all I can do is speak to people globally. It's not global government, it's just trying to talk to people. Let us reason on this. Oh, I had bread and wine in the city of Delray Beach. Oh, that's just pictures of the city of Delray Beach. I worked for the city 5 years and I was very happy. Then Denise Cleckley came in and started roughing me up and bullying me and talking about my ex-husband. I had to tell the story of all the roughing up I went through because I attended St. Hugh's High School for girls, Anglican girls only, no boys. And we were ladies. We were trained to be ladies. I need to encourage all the older people in the business world and those who have discouraging circumstances. I'm intrinsically motivated to do this broadcast because silence is complicit. Harvard Business Review was the magazine I used for reference all through business school at Florida Atlantic University. And it's really great looking, Harvard Business Review. Also, there's two sisters. One went to Harvard graduate school, and the other one went to Stanford graduate MBA, and they have a YouTube. You should listen to them. They're really great. So keep a positive attitude no matter what age you are, no matter what your circumstances are. You have to be inspired by all the Dakinis, Dr. Arikana Shiambori, who got fired for exposing the IMF interest rate manipulation, Aisha Curry, who is being slaughtered by the media, Sandra Appiah, and Kamala Harris. Also Meghan Markle, who at 11 complained about misogyny. Well, I'm trying to retire from the USA and I'm also trying to take legal action. I will know in about 10 days. Dr. Jordan Peterson said we have to be literate and compelling. He's a clinical psychologist. That's his book. And I completed my audit video. I have to update that. And I always find more things to put in my videos. So we had two judges apologize to Africa because Africa was pushing through to the International Criminal Court. But we have two international courts, the ICC and the ICJ. It's really hard to see which court you should go into with the current situation. The 195 countries can see that the American court is invalid. President Donald Trump said they weaponized the U.S. court. I'm quoting a president. I want to show him respect for that comment. I thought they treated him like a clown in the American court because I was on the witness stand and I did a deposition for the case of my children's accident. I was in American court. I did not complain about my ex-husband like I'm complaining now because I said to myself, I had 16 good years with my ex-husband. He deserves to have another wife. Another woman should enjoy his hard work. So they also reversed Roe versus Wade, which also makes the American court invalid. And President Donald Trump said, we won the case at the ICC, which validates the international courts. I put acronyms in here because all through business school we use acronyms. The wood, the book, which I tried to write a book and they steal the USB. I think people on drugs, they steal USBs and sell them for pennies, I guess. Run you, run your family, and run your country into the ground. The acronyms in the book are OFNA and WAPA. OFNA is Obama Free Phone Nigger Gang Stalking Bullying Attacks, and WAPA is the White Approval and Permission of Attacks. So, since nobody was convicted in Nicole Simpson's case, we know that misogyny is not being punished. So, the case I was discussing with my friend from Brazil is really suing the United States for misogyny. I'm a global business mentor, and I'd like to promote one really good business, which is John Miller, who is the fiance of Ben Affleck's wife, Jennifer Garner. He has Cali Group, which is restaurants with robots, and that's who's replacing you. That's the robot right there. So all those high schools kids and college kids who used to work in restaurants, that's gonna be over. Shout out to Aisha. Aisha, you had a Chinese Jamaican mom, and I love you no matter what you do. And your kids are beautiful, and Riley is so beautiful. And Steph spoke to his daughter on YouTube. I know people do a lot of dramatization and half truths on YouTube, but my dad spoke to me the way Steph spoke to Riley. And Karine Jean Pierre, who said that silence is complicit, also uses term people are living rent free in my brain. I love good English. So that's Delray Beach. Now, see that beautiful machine right there? That's very expensive. The guy said about $500,000. That's all the machines. That's all they really care about. The Rothschilds. See all those machines? That's me by the Santer's house in Delray. That's the big famous tree in Delray. And that's the old fashioned holiday craft show in Delray. So there are the things in the craft show. I guess they're getting in the mood. So I tried to do the Heads Together video for the Caribbean, but I was real disappointed because Africa was admitting that they're forever defeated by the IMF, or implying that. I don't know if the Caribbean is forever defeated, but the three videos about debt, currency, and development really made me think it's going to be hard to develop the Caribbean, even if they stick together, because they now have Chinese debt and they have the European Union in the Caribbean. They've got to try though, because there's so much hate in the world. So Jamaica was always one love. That was our culture. We really did love each other in Jamaica. And Jehovah's Witnesses had to tell us not to smoke marijuana and not to get drunk. But Argentina, Brazil, Chile, and Paraguay are countries where Nazis went to. And I double checked it. Yep, these are these countries. So we don't want to get too close to those folks there, because that's not one love. Here's Barbados coming into Jamaica, Barbados and CARICOM coming into Jamaica. I did just do a little research, and there's a effort to do alter storms by cloud seeding. So I suspect that's what happened to Jamaica or not. So here's CARICOM in Jamaica, which is getting close to one love and getting close to Heads Together. But I saw Barbados has a lot of debt too. I want to thank my daddy, who was born in Havana, Cuba, for teaching me to be brave when I was 9 years old. Daddy, I should have given you my son because you didn't have any boys. You had six girls. But you did a interesting job with me when I was 9, showing me what bravery is and taking me to the Royal Air Force reunion lunches and seeing the mechanics and pilots. I love you forever, Daddy. Mi padre este Habana, Cuba. And thank you for all the 24,000 Cuban doctors working in the Caribbean for 50 years. My international human rights attorney is here with her peers. I don't know how much she can do. She does not talk as much as me. She does not have a lot of content. I know me and my friend from Brazil found her with a group of attorneys in the UK, so I don't know how this is going to work out. But my friend from Brazil said that I should search some more, and we did find a lot of pro bono international human rights attorneys. So that's the hurricane in Jamaica. Whoa, that's such a setback to heads together, and a setback to development, a setback to everything. But we want to thank everybody who is helping. There has been a lot of help. So Africa is having one digital market. Zania, Salex, and digital IDs. I hope you watched the video about this. And it does not matter how good the houses look. You have to have values and teach your children values to shape their personality, the culture, and the community. So when you think of misogyny, it's like a thermometer. How hot is it? Well, I've been run into the ground. I was pushed out of my job with the City of Delray Beach. I was trained by two attorneys, and I'm going to download my handwritten evaluation for the court. But how hot is it? When you hurt women, you hurt children. And my children were so abused, and a judge was really needed to speak to my son for this situation with a child tested gifted at 6 years old and his gifted class, his home, a mother who has been working since she was 17, the equity from my clan's business, which was in Jamaica, successful in New York, and came to Florida, and my ex-husband worked there. That was how we had equity in the house, and just keeping women and children safe. So it was not about the house. This is a house where my son tested gifted at 6 years old. It's about the gifted class because education became so important to Jamaicans that my mother bought a house in front of the elementary school. She also paid more for me to study French for 7 years at St. Hugh's High School for girls only, Anglican school for girls only. That high school has a good presence in Toronto, Canada. That's where Jamaicans are safe. But the issue about not going to court and having all these African American police run me into the ground and beat me up is clearly misogyny. They think they're trying to do me like O.J. Simpson did his wife, and his sisters don't understand. And I try to contact his sisters, and the Americans around here, to me, that was a sign when O.J. Simpson's white wife was killed and nobody was convicted. It was a wake up call. It was so easy to leave my son in Jamaica. Two of the three boys were gifted. One is my son, and one is now a PhD in neurosurgery. My father did not have any sons. My son looked like my father. It would have been so easy to do to leave my son in Jamaica safe so he could jump the fence and go across the street to school. I miss my son so deeply. I'm sorry that the Jehovah's Witnesses and hunter gatherers and being American, which I can't be, or being a Cuban fighter like my dad, which I struggle with, or being Jamaican, or being a woman, or being an ugly woman, or being not liked or being bullied or being roughed up, it's hard to think clearly, but if you comment on this video, it'll help me know where I'm going wrong. These are my sons. I miss them. They would have been safe in Jamaica. We did this before. My clan used to manage children in Jamaica. That's my son with my grandmother. My grandmother worked in Denton's Patty's restaurant, bakery, and bar with her sister in Jamaica, which supported much of the family and provided synergy. My son should have been left there, but his little cute self would have been so mad when I left him there. Thank you.